So has anybody ever not skinned a beaver tail, or?
Yes.
Okay. These ones, when you get them this, they got to be 4 inches wide, the size of a wallet, before they'll buy them. Sure. So they got to be at least 4 inches wide. I mean, I get so many big beavers that their tails are closer to 7, 8 inches wide. The smaller they are, the harder they are to do without cutting all the way through. So your first, just shove the knife in here as far as you can. Get it right to the peak of the tail, and then just pull it through. And then the same on the other side. Because you got to leave both sides attached, but all you do is leave about a 3 to 4 inch strip in the middle with it joined up, okay? And then, but here's the trickier part. Now you got to get down through here to where the tail gets really thin. So you got to really, and I need the edge of the table to do this. So you just kind of go like this and watch the knife blade. Because you got to be able to see the tip of your knife poking up, because if you can't, then you're going too deep and you're going to cut through the other side. And just slide it along. You know, I have a little bit of a, you know, I haven't done a ton of these till this year, but I've skinned approximately 2 million fish at my fishing lodge, and this is pretty much the same as you know, getting the flay off a skin of northern or walleye. And then just peel this back easy. And apparently they like, I always have them frozen and then I do them all later. This part here where the bone goes through, what gives these things the power to slap the water like that, the tendons are all through there and attached right onto the skin. It's hard to get them off. But you just got to kind of cut through them, and again, it's just a practice thing, right? You know, the first bunch I did, I have little holes in the hide and stuff. But the more times you do it, you know, the better you're going to get at it. And then you go right through here, trying to make sure you've got the tail on both sides. Then up to where you've got a piece left to join it. And then just keep going through like this until it separates. And for some reason, it always, if you start on the top, it's always, by the time you hear it, it's going to jump over to the bottom, and so then you just, whatever. But once you get about like here, so now you got to start watching your knife tip again. And you know, so you can see right, I mean, if you were closer, you can see the actual knife tip moving through under the hide. So it's, you know, you don't go right through. And then, okay, so now you got your beaver tail opened up. Just like so, right down, so just to the edge of the skin so it lays flat. And that's where this knife comes in handy again. So now I'm actually filleting a fish now, the skin off it. You're just, and you along this, you know, get it down to the beaver tail, and then just turn your blade up a little bit and just wiggle it off like you do the skin of a fish. And if you got dogs, they love this stuff. It is saves money on dog food for sure. And this fat here, it is really hard once you get close to tell when you've not got fat and then you've gone too far into the skin. As soon as you see it turn black like that, you know you went too far. But up at the tail, that's no big deal, because this is what they use right in here. And like I said, I mean, all we get out there is like $4 for them. You know, so it's not like I'm going to skin one and then dry it and then run to the guy that buys them. So I just throw them all in a box, and you know, when I got a couple hundred of them in there, then I run down and then it almost seems worthwhile when you're getting a couple $100 at a time. If he doesn't have too many, because sometimes, you know, there's not a lot of people that use this stuff. Here, I can show you actually. Grab my pocket, my wallet. Go ahead, take it. There ain't a heck of a lot of it in there after that thing I bought my wife last night. So. Okay, so this is a beaver tail leather wallet. They're made out in Manitoba. They look really, they're very, you know, strong. You know, a little bit stiffer than normal leather, but you know, they look cool. Look like alligators. I didn't have to kill an alligator for it. So now, if you take a peek here, like you can see that white? Yeah. That's clean. Now this is all fat that's got to come off, and you just so you just wiggle it a little bit at a time. I'm going to get this big chunk of bone out of there first.
So that $4 again, that's for a skin pit.
Yeah.
And does he buy it?
I've actually, you know, I don't even know if the guy's buying them right now. He's, because he can only, you know, use so many, and there's lots of beavers out there. So I was just more of doing it just for a gag than anything, just to see if I could do it, you know. And it was a lot easier than I thought.
You have a bunch skinned out, and if you won't take them, if you've got enough, do you freeze them or do you hang them and dry them, or what's your
they're all dry. You know that wire screen to make the muskrat traps out of? But you put it on a board, put that wire screen on top, and put some weight on it, and they stay just like that and dry just perfectly in the shape like that. So, and then you just like this. I tried it with a fillet knife, but it's too flexible. Yeah. It didn't work very well for me. No, they don't stretch. Yeah, you can't. You could try, but they won't, and they don't shrink. They dry for what they are right there. And you take the piece off with a little bit of fur around the edge. That's just garbage. Yeah, see, that's what you don't want to do, but the tip of it is not, they don't use that. See, I went too deep when I did that. But like this is the main.
Like you said, they use more of the center.
Yeah. Same as like on a beaver skin, you know, you don't do as good a job on the head. Well, it doesn't matter because they don't use that. They just throw it away anyway. And you just work down a little bit at a time until you got enough off. And if you leave a little bit on extra, it doesn't really matter because it dries clear. No, they'll tell you here, never take anything off a skin after it's dried either. You know, because what happens even on a beaver or marten or fox skin or anything, if it's dried on there, once you start, you just got that little thing sticking up, and you want to pull that off. But all of a sudden you keep pulling, and all of a sudden you got a piece of this big, and then it tears right through the skin. Leave it alone. Or wet it down and take it off. That there is about as much as I would worry about taking off. I have no idea. I know he uses some strong stuff, but I imagine it'd be the same. I don't think they put a lot of work into making it super soft like leather, because it doesn't get soft, obviously. It gets flexible, but not, you know, not like a commercially tanned hide. It might get soft like one of my tanned hides. So not soft. I tried that tanning stuff last year. That ain't my cup of tea. Too much work. And the guys at the tannery, they got kids they got to feed too, right? So I'll give them some money for it. Okay, so that's, you know, basically once you get it down to looking like that, then you can just let it dry, and it'll dry completely clear and black, and be good to go. So anybody want a beaver tail to take home? Because it's going in the garbage. Is it tying yet? Ready to go? I never timed myself on doing the beavers at home.